I don't usually like sharing work that isn't absolutely perfect and pristine in every way, but I thought it would be kind of fun to give you a glimpse of Casablanca Blues, the new novel that I've just finished writing. I'm still in the editing process right now, but I wanted to talk about it for a second. It's about a kind of midlife crisis, young American guy, and his obsession with the movie Casablanca. He comes to this city and falls in love with this snooty-tooty bourgeoisie Moroccan girl called Rita, and it's about their adventures together. This is how it begins. The windowless walls at Acme telesales were painted slate grey. A sea of uniform desks filled the central hall, each one the same drab shade. The chairs were grey as well, and the telephonic headsets, and the complexions of the sales staff who wore them, and even the plastic plants. The only splash of colour in the entire place was the baseball cap pulled down tight over Blaine Williams's blonde mop of hair. It was fire engine red and had the word Casablanca written in large letters across the front. "Good morning to you, ma'am," said Blaine into the headset microphone. No, I didn't call last week. No, not even the week before. Why am I calling? Well, ma'am, I've got an offer for the silver generation. Click. Blaine dialed again. Hello, ma'am, let me ask you, do you have trouble with your drains? Click. Good morning to you, sir. Could I interest you in a case of Drainosure? Click. A miniature buzzer emitted a muffled warning sound on Blaine's desk number 52. To the left of it was a black and white studio shot of Humphrey Bogart with signature cigarette, fedora and sullen stare. And to the right was an empty mug, Bogart and Bergman's cheeks pressed together on the front. In a well-practiced movement, Blaine slipped off his headset, leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. For Christ's sake, he shouted, beam me up to the mothership. On the dot of 7 a.m., an automatic sprinkler system turned itself on and began watering the manicured lawn in front of the Benani mansion. There was not a blade of grass over 1.5 inches, nor a weed in sight. A pair of imposing wrought iron gates threw long arabesque shadows over the grass. They rose 30 feet high into the pale blue sky. Armoured CCTV cameras mounted above each one. Behind the grass and the gates, the mansion rose up like a magnificent frosted wedding cake, gleaming ivory white. It was adorned with Doric columns and classical mouldings, and reeked of immense affluence, the kind of wealth that only a business empire, corruption, or both can provide. Inside, a handsome, well-groomed man of 60 was taking breakfast, squinting with half his attention at a pie chart on a laptop screen. He was stirring a porcelain cup of English breakfast tea clockwise when his daughter, Rita, hurried in. "Papa, oh Papa, what a catastrophe, what misery," she declared. Hisham Benani glanced up and smiled absently. He didn't say a word because he knew an explanation would be forthcoming, one that would begin in condemnation and end in the solicitation for funds. "How can a girl expect to get married with such imbeciles on the payroll?" Rita moaned, as a cluster of servants fussed about her. I've had no choice but to fire the lot of them, every last one," she said. "We'll have to start again, from scratch. It will cost a little more, but I know you'll agree, won't you, dearest Papa?" Rita forced a taut smile and blew a kiss across the table in her father's direction. Mr. Benani's gaze moved back to the graph and, in one continuous movement, out to the landscaped gardens that extended far behind the house. The sprinklers were throwing rainbows over the lawns. He was about to ask for a figure when his only daughter held up a finger and exclaimed, "I blame the working class. Damn them at once and damn them twice." "Excuse me," said Banani, frowning. Well, it's them who are driving up the prices, said Geetha. Do you have any idea how much it costs to put on a wedding these days? I daren't ask, Banani replied coldly. But after all, Geetha, it's only an engagement. How over the top does it need to be?